Hello everyone, welcome to an unboxing review of this. The Tamiya 148 Vo F4U 1D Corsair. So let's sit back and see what's inside the box. So let's have a look at the box. On the front of the box is a nice image of the Corsair flying, looks like in the Pacific Theatre. On the top it says the Tamiya logo. On the bottom side it shows one of the two scheme options. There is the same image again. If it's sitting on its side in the shops, you can easily identify it. It says here that you can fold the wing position in the closed or when it's stored in the carriers. And it has one of these schemes which are included in the kit. On the right side it's basically the same. So let's have a look. Let's open the box and have a look what's inside. So upon opening the kit, we are greeted with a plethora of plastic parts with decals and instruction sheet at the bottom. So now let's have a look at the instructions. Upon removing the plastic parts and decals, here we have the standard Tamiya instructions on how to make the model. But we're not actually going to look at those first. As in here there is a little sheet of tech tips to help you in your build of the kit. As we can see here, it's telling us how to cut off the parts either with a sharp knife or sprue cutters, showing how to clean the excess plastic or flash, and here it's showing you the different types of glue in order to glue the model. So with that aside, let's have a look at the instructions. On the front of the instructions is the finished model, but it's in a black and white image. You have the Tamiya logo again. On here is some history and information about the real aircraft. Now let's unfold this and have a look. So it is a fold-out booklet. Let's start on this page here. Here it shows some interesting diagrams. It says to read carefully and fully understand each instruction. Has it in multiple languages. It says some tools and glue you might want to get. So let's move on to step one. And step one looks like you are assembling the cockpit. Looks like the pilot's chair, the instrument panels, the back seat of the cockpit, backrest. Up here it looks like you are assembling the bulkhead or something. I don't know the technical terms for any of these, so I do apologise. Let's move on to step two. Step two looks like you're assembling the radial engine. The F4U Corsair was designed in the 1940s. It was required to have the largest radial engine of the period inside the aircraft. So here looks like a modern representation of that. Over here we're fitting the cooling fans, or the vents, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Here's the engine cowling, and looks like you slot these together. I think has a open or closed option. Step 3, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Right. Looks like that's the option for the folding wings. Here we are gluing the gull wing design parts. Looks like the undercarriage wheelbase. Down here, looks like we're fitting some detail parts to it. Up here, step 4, we are gluing the cockpit, the wheel bay, gluing all that together into one half of the fuselage. Then we'll glue the other half on top and sandwich it. Down here, looks like we're assembling the fuselage onto the bottom half of the wing, adding the tail planes. I think that's an old way of saying it. Read in the comments. Here we have the engine being glued onto the front of the aircraft. Over here, looks like we're assembling the wheels and gear legs. Now, if you're sort of a beginner, I would not recommend this, considering how complex this system is. But if you have built a few kits already, this shouldn't really be an issue. Here it's showing us how to glue the tail wheel assembly that would slot into the tail wheel bay. It doesn't. Here is the undercarriage gear bay doors. I think they have options for open or close, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it, but we're step 8, we are assembling the gear doors and the gear legs into the undercarriage, adding the flaps. I think they have an option for raised or lowered, but I'm not sure. We have these. We glue the tail wheel, including the back halves of the tail wheel doors, or in flight. The Corsair had the tail wheel doors that can fold over to decrease drag from the tail wheel. Unlike early pre-war aircraft would have the tail sticking out. Here it's just showing you. Well, I'm not actually sure what they're saying here, but I'm pretty sure you will correct me in the comments. And I think this is I don't think this is the final page. But here assembling looks like the machine guns into one half of the wings. Doing the same for this side of the aircraft. I think that's for the bombs that come with it, or fuel tanks, I'm not sure. I think these are the holes for the fuel tanks. This looks like they're the fuel tank holders. I think these are fuel tanks. But again, I'm not really sure if these are fuel tanks or float planes. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And it looks like here we have the painting and marking instructions. Now we have two options here. One is from a aircraft in wing VMF-12, wing 1 carrier, Bennington, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, 1945 in January. This looks very basic. If you're a beginner, I would suggest doing this scheme. There's basically not that many markings. Right here, I'm quite tempted to do this one. This is FV-84, wing 167, carrier, Bunker Hill, 1945, February. So this is a more complicated scheme just because of the sheer number of decals or transfers, or however you want to say it. I think the main colour scheme is overall just a blue. Got some yellow tips on the front of the cowling. And I think that is the instructions. Oh no, there are some stencil placements. Now I will be putting these stencils on just because I like doing decals. That's my favourite part about this. Disagree with me in the comments if you think I'm wrong about that. Right over here we have small warning labels and just different languages and how to do this. I will be using a decal solution for this. If you have any methods on how I should do decals, do let me know. So now let's have a look at the plastic parts of the kit. And I'll just like to remind that when you open the box, all these parts will be into actually 3 plastic bags. You can protect them. I have since remove the bags except for the clear parts, and let's have a look at these parts. And first one we'll take a look at is this sprue with the undercarriage. I think these are just for the wing assembly. So we have the top half here, the lower half here, I think. The lower, and that's the upper down here. Looks like the details here are, I think there are some raised. Tell me if that's historically accurate, because I have no idea. Here are some of the lower parts. You can see there's some detail that would be perfect for a black wash to highlight those details. Over here we have some raised details and shallow detail and recessed details. I think that's where the exhaust would come from. I think those are the undercarriage doors. Yeah. So here we have the, I think these are the cockpit parts. They look reasonably well quality. I think that's the rear bulkhead, correct me if I'm wrong. They look like the fuel tanks. And just a note, this kit does come with a pilot figure, but he will not be able to go inside the aircraft because on the box it says that it should be having his hand resting on the aircraft. Just notice there if you plan to include him, maybe in a diorama purpose or something. Now we get onto the main sprue with the two fuselage halves. Again, there are the two tailplanes, correct me if I'm wrong. But it looks like you have a mixture between recessed and raised details. The propeller looks quite large. And again, it has little lines to help you find out where the early yellow tips of the propeller blades would be. Here are the two halves of the engine, tires. Here the detail looks impressive. This will be useful for a black wash. I'm not sure what that is. Again, the detail on the parts look phenomenal. Down here we can see there's recessed and raised details on the fuselage halves. That looks like the, correct me if I'm wrong, if that's the tail wheel undercarriage or the thing that they would use when they come for a carrier landing. Looks like the wheels. Now let's move on to the clear parts. They come in this little bag. I have not opened these for the sheer sake of protecting said parts. But from here they do look pretty crisp. There doesn't seem to be any scratches, but I will be using my new airbrush on this, so I will have to mask them. If you have any tips on how to mask these, then let me know. Otherwise I have no idea how to do them. Looks like you have the option to do it open or closed. Now, this part here, this is the engine cabin. A bit of excess sprue there. Now, this came loose, so it might be a good idea to put that back in the box. Otherwise, the details on this are quite minimum. There are details on the outside, mixture of raised and lowered, raised and recessed. There doesn't appear to be any detail inside the inside it, because that's where the engine will go. Overall, looks like a fairly good kit. Now, I almost feel like one thing, that is the decal sheet. So here they are. Now, from my perspective, they do look to be nicely crisp and well printed from Tamiya. I have used some Tamiya decals before. They do conform nicely. Here there's some seatbelt decals. The instrument panel looks really good. There are some nice warning labels. Now there is some silver in here, so you might want to put a gloss coat over it so that they won't silver. Here are the stars and bands, or stars and stripes. Please correct me how these decals, how these American insignia are. I'd like to know. Here's some small stencils, numbers. From handling this decal paper, I can tell you it is very sticky. I'm just touching it now. It is quite sticky. So this does come with two different options as well. So what do I think of this kit? Well, I think this is a good scale for this kit. The plastic part, the sprues, very well molded. The decals look superb. If you notice anything wrong with them, please let me know. Overall, the number of paint scheme is good. I will be doing the one shown on the box because it's more interesting. Overall, I'd say it's a decent kit. It's a little bit challenging, but if you have built a few kits before, then you shouldn't have any problems with this. Now, one thing I'd like to do before I sign off is I'd like to give a shout out to another modeling YouTuber, Modeling Weekly. On his, he is a good content creator. There's some fascinating builds over there, so go and check him out and subscribe if you like it. And this, I have this kit here because this is for his Pacific Theatre group build on his Discord server, which was actually one that I suggested as a theme. So there you go. So I highly recommend go and check out his stuff. He's a very good content creator. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this this unboxing review of the Tamiya F4U Corsair. And please let me know what would you like to see me do next. Would you like to see my stash? Would you like to see my collection of models that I already have built and my stash? Or would you like to see both my stash and model collection combined to one video? Yes. So thank you for watching. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see more of my content, I'll roll out over the few months. I am still new to this. I forgive the camera shake. I don't have the neat means to do camera work. And hope you all have a happy new year. I'll see you in the next year. And also, please subscribe. Thank you.